Republicans are increasingly demanding, suggesting that Ron DeSantis block the extradition of Donald Trump from Florida to New York, if indeed Donald Trump is indicted and arrested in the state of New York, as many of us believe he might be, I guess, although it was supposed to happen Tuesday and then Wednesday and then it didn't happen. Put that aside for a moment. More and more Republicans are making the request that DeSantis block the extradition of Trump to New York. Can DeSantis even do this? Well, that's a good question. We'll get to that in a moment. First, here is Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz making the case.
If I were governor of Florida, I would not allow any Floridian to be hauled before some Soros-backed prosecutor in some blue city over politics. And I wouldn't make an exception to not protect the president of the United States. Ron DeSantis should be standing in the breach to stop any sort of extradition of President Trump from the state of Florida. And the fact that he's not doing so puts every Floridian at risk who could be the subject of a false allegation. I know Ron DeSantis well, he's a friend, but he hasn't been the target of false and persistent allegations like President Trump has. And so I don't think he really understands the nature of this fight right now. I think that it was a bit uncouth for him to take a jab at the former president. And there's a role for the governor of Florida here, I think, to stand up for our state, for the rule of law, and to push back against the Sorosization of the criminal justice system.
So, is it actually something that Ron DeSantis can do? I will tell you in a moment. Charlie Kirk making the exact same case about this extradition. And everybody is on message with the Soros stuff, you will notice.
Why doesn't Ron DeSantis create a sanctuary state for a former president under political persecution? If the left is able to create sanctuary states for rapists and murderers, thugs and criminals, I don't think it's too big of an ask for Ron DeSantis to create a sanctuary state for a former president who's being persecuted by a Soros-funded DA.
Yeah. So it's an interesting legal question. Can a governor block the extradition of an indicted person from their state to the state in which they are indicted? Can a governor do that? Governors do have the power to block extradition of a person who is wanted in another state, but in very limited circumstances. A governor may block the extradition of a person if the governor determines that the person's rights would be violated in the extradition, or if the governor believes that the request for extradition is politically motivated or improper. Now, that just happens to be exactly what these right-wingers are claiming. They are saying that the prosecution of Trump, if it happens, is politically motivated, would be politically motivated. However, it is not that the governor just says, yep, it's politically motivated, so there's no extradition. If a governor asserts that they are blocking extradition from their state to another for that reason, it can be challenged in court. And ultimately, it's up to courts to determine whether extraditions should be allowed. From everything I've read right now, there is every indication that if DeSantis tried to block Trump's extradition from Florida to New York on these grounds, courts would say you can't do it. Also worth noting, governors cannot block extradition to another country. That falls under federal jurisdiction. So it's a nice little pipe dream that Charlie Kirk and Matt Gaetz have, but it is very unlikely to be what keeps Trump out of the state of New York. And by the way, Trump's lawyers have already said he would surrender. Will it happen? Will the arrest happen? That's a different question. One of our sponsors today is Leisure of NYC, offering ultra comfortable, fair trade men's clothing at fair prices. Guys know it can be very tough to find good boxers and t-shirts. The search is over because all boxer briefs by Leisure of NYC are made with amazingly soft, moisture-wicking viscose from bamboo. Super lightweight like air, but it doesn't bunch up, and it's also great for the planet. Leisure of NYC also makes really great Supima cotton crew neck t-shirts. Less than 1% of men's basics today are made with Supima cotton. It is the best out there. It feels like silk, quite frankly. You can walk around in a scratchy t-shirt all day, or you can enjoy the cloud soft feel of Supima cotton and actually love the shirt you're wearing. These are my go-to t-shirts and boxers. Nothing else even comes close to providing this level of comfort, and all of their products are fair trade and made sustainably. Go pick up the most comfortable t-shirts and boxers you will ever own, but hurry because they often sell out, especially the boxers. Go to davidpakman.com/NYC and you will get 15% off with the code PAKMAN at checkout, and the link is down below.